Oh gosh, here they come.
I'm
Hello? Are you watching?
trying.
Now you can play a part in the ultimate Pokemon battle.
Every day, America Online is making it easier.
In the shimmering haze of 80s and 90s nostalgia, there's a trove of childhood treasures fading into the records of time. Kids today might never experience the thrill of rewinding VHS tapes or the communal joy of Saturday morning cartoons. From mixtape mastery to Pokemon card swaps, these forgotten gems sum up the essence of growing. Join us as we unlock the vault of 20 things from the 80s and 90s that kids today no longer do. The fond memories of Friday nights spent browsing the aisles of Blockbuster Video or the neighborhood video store in the colorful 80s. The excitement of perusing shelves lined with VHS tapes, each holding the promise of a cinematic adventure.
Why not get your games at Blockbuster? It's the mature thing to do.
From the latest Hollywood blockbusters to timeless classics, there was something magical about the tangible experience of selecting the perfect movie for the weekend. You'd pore over movie covers, debating between comedies, action flicks, or horror gems, all while hoping our favorite titles were still in stock. And who could forget the thrill of racing to return the rented tapes before the dreaded late fee kicked in? Renting movies wasn't just about entertainment. It was a ritual, a cherished tradition that brought us together with friends and family, creating lasting memories that still evoke nostalgia to this day. Hey, still got some Pokemon cards? Oh, the thrill of collecting and trading Pokemon cards in the vibrant era of the 90s. Remember the excitement of tearing open a fresh pack, the anticipation of discovering a secret holographic Charizard or a rare Mewtwo.
Two powerful teams, only one will rule the planet. Introducing 95 new cards.
Those were the days of playground negotiations where friendships were forged and alliances tested over a prized Blastoise or an elusive Pikachu. The joy of completing a set, the satisfaction of organizing them meticulously in binders, and the thrill of trading duplicates to complete our collections. Pokemon cards were tokens of childhood, imbued with memories of endless battles and adventures that transcended the game itself. And who could forget AOL Instant Messenger? The charm of those days, where dial-up tones signaled the start of an exciting journey into the digital world of AOL Instant Messenger AIM. For those who rocked that era, AIM was more than just a messaging platform. It was a virtual hangout where friendships blossomed and secrets were shared late into the night. With trusty dial-up connections and screen names like Cool Kid 123 or Stargazer 87, we logged on eagerly, greeted by the familiar sound of the AIM door opening and closing. Instantly, we were transported to a world of chat rooms, away messages, and emoticons that conveyed our every emotion. Whether it was gossiping about crushes, sharing the latest gist, or simply catching up after a long day at school, AIM was a lifeline to the outside world. We'd spend hours chatting with friends, typing away furiously on clunky keyboards, reveling in the thrill of instant communication, and who could forget the excitement of receiving a new message, accompanied by that iconic sound, "You've got mail." It was a rush of adrenaline, a digital connection that transcended the confines of our bedrooms. It was just as thrilling as passing notes in class. The allure of passing handwritten notes in class was a cherished tradition of 80s and 90s school days. With pencils poised and paper discreetly tucked beneath desks, students embarked on secret missions of communication, forging connections beyond the confines of textbooks and chalkboards. Each folded note was a treasure trove of shared secrets, inside jokes, and heartfelt declarations carefully crafted to elude the watchful gaze of teachers. With practiced finesse, notes were passed dangerously from desk to desk, weaving a web of communication that transcended the confines of traditional classroom discourse. Whether it was a whispered exchange of notes during a particularly dull lecture or a private meeting in the hallway between classes, the thrill of passing handwritten notes was an integral part of the 80s school experience. As you look back on those simpler times, you can't help but smile at the memories of folded paper and ink-stained fingertips, a nostalgic reminder of the innocence and friendliness of youth in the 80s. Now let's talk about floppy disks. Those trusty floppy disks reigned supreme as the savior of digital endeavors. With its iconic square shape and unmistakable whirring sound, the floppy disk was more than just a storage device. It was a symbol of technological prowess and a gateway to endless possibilities. In the dim glow of the computer screen, you'd carefully inserted your prized floppy disks, each one containing a precious collection of files, from school projects to pixelated video games. With bated breath, you awaited the reassuring click that signaled your data was safe and secure. Whether it was swapping floppy disks with friends to share the latest software or frantically backing up important documents before a looming deadline, the floppy disk was our steadfast companion in the ever-evolving landscape of 80s computing. And oh, the joy of Saturday mornings. The cherished Saturday mornings of the 80s, where the promise of colorful characters and fantastic adventures on the small screen fueled the excitement of waking up early. With a bowl of sugary cereal in hand and pajamas still on, we eagerly tuned in to watch TV shows like Saved by the Bell and Doug. From the halls of Bayside High to the suburban streets of Bluffington, we followed the escapades of our favorite characters with rapt attention. Saved by the Bell brought us into the lives of Zach Morris, Kelly Kapowski, and Screech Powers as they navigated the ups and downs of high school, teaching us valuable lessons about friendship, love, and the importance of being true to ourselves. Meanwhile, Doug whisked us away to the imaginative world of Doug Funny, where everyday adventures took on a fanciful twist with the help of his trusty journal and quirky friends like Skeeter Valentine and Patty Mayonnaise. And though the years may have passed, the memories of those carefree mornings remain etched in our hearts as a nostalgic reminder of simpler times. And what about the joy of Pogs and Slammer discs? In the 80s, there was a craze that swept through playgrounds like wildfire, Pogs and Slammer discs. Remember those colorful little circles? They were like currency for kids, each one a tiny piece of childhood magic. With a flick of the wrist, Slammer discs would send Pogs flying, creating a cacophony of clinks and clatters that echoed through the schoolyard. It was a game of skill, strategy, and just a touch of luck. But more than just a game, Pogs were a cultural phenomenon. They brought friends together, sparked rivalries, and taught valuable lessons in victory and defeat. For those who grew up in the 80s, playing with Pogs and Slammer discs was more than just a pastime. It was a cherished memory, a symbol of simpler times when happiness could be found in the simplest of things. Back in the day, when the local shopping mall was more than just a place to shop, it was the heart of teenage social life, a bustling hub of excitement and adventure. It wasn't just about buying clothes or grabbing a snack. It was about getting immersed in a world of possibility, where every corner held the promise of discovery. You'd spend hours roaming the corridors, our laughter echoing off the polished floors as we explored every nook and cranny. From browsing the latest records at the music store to trying on outrageous outfits at the novelty shop, the mall was a playground. And then there were the arcades, dimly lit sanctuaries filled with flashing lights and the sound of electronic music. We'd pool our quarters together, competing for high scores on our favorite games and reveling in the thrill of victory. The mall was more than just a place to hang out. It was a refuge from the pressures of school and the uncertainties of growing up. A sanctuary where friendships were forged and memories were made. In today's world of online shopping and virtual hangouts, it's easy to forget the simple joys of spending an afternoon at the mall with friends. Wait, where are those water guns? As the scorching summer sun cast its golden glow across the sky, a familiar scene unfolded for kids of the 80s and 90s, the thrilling spectacle of Super Soaker battles. For those growing up in that era, nothing quite matched the excitement of grabbing hold of those colorful, powerful water guns. Armed and ready, groups of friends would gather in backyards or local parks, eager to unleash waves of water in the blistering heat. The air would echo with laughter and the sound of splashing water as they dodged and weaved, planning their next moves with each strategic maneuver. Hours would fly by as they engaged in epic water fights, defending their territories and launching daring attacks fueled by boundless imagination. And when the battle finally ceased, exhaustion would set in as they collapsed onto the grass, breathless but grinning from ear to ear. In those moments, victory tasted sweeter than ever, and thoughts turned to the next thrilling encounter. Oh, the old days, a time filled with excitement whenever new music was about to drop. Back then, waiting for those fresh tunes to hit the shelves of our beloved record shops was pure magic. Imagine it, standing outside the store, eyes glued to the display window, searching for any hint of the latest releases. The buzz in the air was electric as fellow music lovers gathered, chatting away and guessing which songs would soon become our jams. Then the big moment arrived. We'd step inside with bated breath, greeted by the familiar scent of vinyl and cardboard. Racing to the new releases section, our eyes would light up at the sight of rows upon rows of CDs or cassette tapes, each one holding the promise of endless musical joy. After careful consideration, we'd make our selections, cradling them like precious treasures. Back at home, the tunes filled our rooms. It felt like time stood still, carrying us away on a journey of sound and sensation. Waiting for new music releases was fun, but there was something more thrilling. For those who grew up during that era, few memories evoke the same warm nostalgia as the delightful moments spent with our Tamagotchi virtual pets. Think back to holding that small egg-shaped device in hand, instantly transported to a world where responsibility and friendship intertwined in a pixelated wonderland. Tamagotchis weren't just toys. They became trusted companions, bringing joy and amusement into our lives. From feeding and caring for them to ensuring they were happy and healthy, every beep and chirp from those digital pets became part of our daily routine. We checked on them regularly, making sure they felt loved and attended to. But the true magic of Tamagotchis lay in the bond formed with our virtual pets. And when the time came to say goodbye, whether due to old age or unfortunate accidents, we mourned their loss as if they were real. Now let's talk about recording homemade mixtapes. Back in those days, music was like a loyal friend, always there for us, and making mixtapes was a big deal. For kids from that time, nothing sparks cozy memories quite like recording songs from the radio onto our cherished mixtapes. Just picture it, sitting beside the cassette player, eagerly waiting for your favorite songs to pop up on the radio waves. With fingers poised over the buttons, you were all set to capture every bit of music magic as soon as it started. As the tunes began, you held your breath, hoping the DJ wouldn't spoil the moment. When the song ended, you let out a sigh of relief and pressed those buttons with pride, knowing you'd snagged another gem for your collection. But the fun didn't stop there. Armed with your freshly recorded tracks, you became a mixtape maestro, carefully selecting and arranging songs to set the perfect mood. Nowadays, with digital playlists ruling the scene, the magic of making mixtapes might seem forgotten, and so is the use of payphones. In the vibrant 80s and 90s, when we ventured out into the world, our lifeline to the outside realm was the trusty payphone. It wasn't just a tool for making calls, it was a portal of connection, a familiar sight on bustling street corners. Remember clutching a handful of coins and approaching the iconic red booth with anticipation. Each button press echoed with the promise of communication as we dialed the numbers, eagerly awaiting the connection to our destination. When the call went through, it was like magic. The dial tone turned into distant ringing, and then the sweet sound of a loved one's voice filled our ears, comforting us and bringing us closer despite the miles between us. But payphones weren't just for important calls, they were our meeting point, a hub of social activity. Meeting friends, making plans, or simply catching up, the payphone was our gathering spot, where every ring held the potential for adventure. The enchantment with Disney animations can always be remembered too. The good old days, a treasure trove of childhood enchantment and wondrous adventures. Imagine settling into the comfort of our favorite spot on the couch, a bowl of popcorn in hand as the VCR hummed to life, ready to whisk us away to realms of talking animals, daring escapades, and unforgettable characters. With eager anticipation, we'd press play, eagerly awaiting the familiar melody of Disney's iconic theme music heralding the start of our journey. Each scene was a masterpiece, and every line of dialogue was a spark of storytelling magic that ignited our imaginations. From the timeless tales of royalty and romance to the heartwarming exploits of unlikely heroes, Disney movies were more than mere entertainment. They were paths to realms where dreams danced and fantasies flourished. And who could forget the thrill of scouring video rental stores for the next Disney gem or trading VHS tapes with friends, each exchange a chance to discover a new adventure? There was something about holidays those days. In the 80s and 90s, holiday vibes were electric, and Tickle Me Elmo dolls brought pure laughter and cheer. For us 80s kids, nothing beats reminiscing about the joy of playing with these fuzzy pals during the holidays. It was thrilling to unwrap presents under neon lights, hoping for that iconic red plushie. Squeezing its belly triggered contagious laughter, filling the room with excitement. With every giggle, we couldn't help but join in, creating a symphony of joy. And the adventures with Elmo? Epic battles and imaginary tea parties were just the beginning. But the best part? Sharing the fun with friends. Tickle Me Elmo wasn't just a toy, it was a rad buddy spreading holiday cheer. In today's world of flashy tech, the charm of Tickle Me Elmo lives on in our memories. For us 80s kids, those holiday moments with our furry friend will always bring back the magic of the most tubular time of the year. Now let's switch to accessories. Few accessories bring back the same warm nostalgia as the slap bracelet. These bendable bands weren't just accessories, they were statements of style, adding flair to our outfits with every flick of the wrist. Whether neon bright or covered in quirky patterns, slap bracelets were more than just fashion statements. They were symbols of our individuality and creativity. We'd trade them with friends, swapping colors and designs to match our ever-changing moods and tastes. And oh, the satisfaction of that unmistakable sound as the bracelet curled snugly around our wrists with a single snap. It was like a mini celebration, a moment of pure fun during our daily routines. But perhaps the best part was the sense of friendship they brought. Slap bracelets weren't just for personal expression, they were conversation starters, bonding us with classmates and friends over our shared love for these iconic accessories. What happened to skateboarding trends? Those days were a time of pavement thrills and daring stunts. For us 80s kids, nothing beats the rush of rollerblading or skateboarding trends. Imagine gliding through the streets on rollerblades or cruising on a skateboard, feeling the wind rush past. Every push was a taste of freedom, fueling our youthful spirit. From mastering tricks at the skate park to carving paths through the neighborhood, rollerblading and skateboarding weren't just hobbies, they were a way of life. We spent hours perfecting our moves, pushing boundaries and bonding with friends along the way. In today's world, rollerblading and skateboarding might seem like relics of the past. But for us 80s kids, those pavement adventures remain cherished memories, reminding us of a time when the streets were our playground and the thrill of the ride was all that mattered. Let's take a look at something very thrilling and groovy. In the heart of the 80s, when neon lights painted the nights and synthesizer beats filled the air, there was a magical gathering place where every child longed to be, the roller skating rink. Entering the rink was like stepping into another universe. The moment you laced up your skates, you became part of a whirlwind of motion and music. The DJ spun records that resonated with the pulse of the era, from Madonna's infectious pop to Michael Jackson's electrifying beats. Birthdays were a special occasion at the rink. The birthday boy or girl would glide around, feeling like royalty while their friends circled them, singing happy birthday as they whizzed by. The disco ball cast shimmering reflections on the walls, adding to the festive atmosphere. There was an undeniable bond among skaters, a sense of belonging that transcended age or background. Strangers became friends as they cheered each other on, offering a helping hand to those still mastering the art of balancing on four wheels. In the lively landscape of childhood memories from the 80s, there's a tiny treasure that holds a special place in many hearts: Polly Pocket. These miniature worlds, no larger than the palm of a hand, were portals to enchanting adventures that sparked the imagination and ignited endless hours of play. Every Polly Pocket set was a universe unto itself, compact yet brimming with detail. From bustling cityscapes to playful castles, each tiny world was gently crafted to capture the essence of childhood wonder. The dolls themselves, with their colorful outfits and expressive faces, felt like cherished companions ready to embark on any journey the mind could conjure. There was a tactile joy in handling the miniature accessories, from itty-bitty furniture to teeny-tiny pets, each one a testament to the attention to detail that went into crafting these pocket-sized worlds. And who could forget the thrill of discovering hidden compartments and secret passages tucked away within the folds of each playset, waiting to be explored with eager fingers? Let's revisit something: internet modem dialing. In the nostalgic realm of the 80s, there's a distinct symphony that echoes through the corridors of memory: the iconic melody of the modem connecting to the internet. It's a crescendo of chirps, whirs, and staticky echoes that signaled the gateway to a digital frontier. Imagine a darkened room, a hulking computer, and the eager anticipation of what lay beyond the screen. With fingers poised, we'd initiate the connection, setting off an amusing dance of beeps and whistles as the modem negotiated its link to the virtual realm. In those fleeting moments, time stood still as we awaited the triumphant chime of success, a signal that we were now tethered to the vast expanse of the internet, poised for adventure. But beyond its practical function, the modem's connecting sound symbolized an era when the digital world was still a wild frontier, each online excursion a thrilling expedition into the unknown.